Hi, this is Alan Shea, and I am back with the man of the hour, a gentleman who I am so excited to be around and just full of energy with all of, I'm gonna call him our next generation. How is that?
Absolutely. Next generation.
And this is Raw, who is the founder,
Yep.
who is the creator,
Yep.
who is the man with iron tough skin
Correct.
to know how to deal with rejection.
Correct.
Because I'm sure you had a lot of rejection before this came to light for you.
Correct.
So we're going to go into a lot of coverage with this gentleman here because this is exactly what the next generation needs to understand if they're going to stay relevant and know how to pivot, especially in the wake of what our society today is showing us,
Yeah.
from economics to social indifference to what our children are being exposed to.
Yeah.
Definitely. So why don't you give us a little background, because start with where you're from, how did you come into this incredible vision that you have here, and then how has the community and society been supporting?
Got it. Listen, everybody know me as Principal Raw. I'm Amen Raw. I'm born and raised from Compton, and I represent this for the underrepresented. I want that kid that see themselves in the South Bronx or in Detroit that come from a little city but have a big dream. I was a revolutionary principal. I opened my own high school right here in South Central, and we was an award-winning school. We had back-to-back 100% graduation rates. We had 0 fights and 0 suspensions. And then one day I had 90% of my kids accepted to four-year universities, but over 90% of them were accepting student loan debt. And they were introduced to one of the biggest financial decisions of their life without getting the full financial literacy. So that day, after graduating 100% of my seniors, I quit my job and started K-12 Crypto, which is a learn-to-earn organization that is democratizing Web3 via learn-to-earn, where students can fund their future without going into debt, where students can learn about blockchain, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, and understand that they're the creators. We can't be in a creator economy without valuing students as creators, and that's what our mission is.
Oh my God. You guys, I'm about to pass out. This gentleman here just unloaded a ton of information that is a true template of what we need to implement for the next future. And I'm standing here, I can't believe it. I am so moved and blown away because I've never heard anybody have the ability to articulate that with the passion, the vision, the clarity, and the execution as you have done. Well, I mean, now you got to lay out this journey, because if you want your alumni to continue to cultivate that, you got to start laying down for our viewers, how is this going to happen?
Yeah, so right now, this is what this launch is for. This launch is really to show how our partners can come together and form like a transformer, like Megatron and like Voltron, to come together and revolutionize education. There is a big $1.7 trillion student loan debt crisis, and our plan is to address chronic absenteeism. We already started our beta with our platform where students can earn digital assets just for attending school. There's 15 million kids right now that are on track to miss more than a month of school during the school year. That's a big problem, because if kids are not attending school, they're not getting the education and it's not getting the information, and that will now grow the information gap. That will grow and make it harder for us to democratize this information and this education. So for us, we're incentivizing attendance, we're incentivizing education, and we're incentivizing the exploration for passion for the kids to find out their hidden treasure in life through our platform via Learn to Earn. But they only get access to their funds if they graduate from high school.
Wow. I'm floored. Please share with the viewers, how did you find within yourself to be so in tune with all these different moving parts that you have to contend with? I mean, I'm getting chills, my brother, I'm telling you, because that's powerful.
Yeah.
What you're saying is powerful. Not only is it powerful, viewer, it's very moving, because here is you're a young man. He's a young man.
Yeah.
And all the information and commitment that he's talking about making. How did you come to being that anchor? Was it through your parents? Was it through your community? Was it through your education? You got to give us some insight on this.
Yeah, so my father was a revolutionary professor. He helped build the Black Studies Department at Long Beach State. He was always for education. And my mom was an entrepreneur. She's always trying new things and always had a creative. And I'm the youngest of 6. So I was able to see everybody else's mistakes and learn from them. I would say that I had fluid intelligence through school. I was able to understand what was relevant and understand what was irrelevant to me. I thought I was going to be a rapper and a football player, and then it wasn't until I read this book called The Alchemist that changed my life. And then education chose me. And then I realized that there were so many problems in education, and I felt like in the ed tech industry and in really underserved communities, they weren't providing the proper solutions. So I figured, well, let's not complain about it. Let's use the vision and create something and be a creator and apply your creation to revolutionize the system. So I figured, like, let me jump out and try to push this 18-wheeler, like figuratively, right? Push this 18-wheeler, and hopefully other peoples in the community will see us pushing it and then want to join in and really push this momentum and make this momentum to create a movement.
This is just crazy. I'm gonna make his movie. We're gonna get together and we're gonna have to do a movie and get this thing off the ground, because this is unbelievable. The timing is so right. I have to pause and regroup, because you're giving me a lot of stuff that I want to capture for the show and for you. So why don't you share with us, how did you maneuver through, first of all, apparently from what I'm seeing, I would imagine you're about 29, 30, somewhere in
34.
that. 34, okay. So clearly you grew up in the aftermath of the gang-banging era of the 90s, 80s, and 90s, and the effects of that. So you tackle that. So why don't you share with the viewers, how did you maneuver so you didn't get in it? You're from South Central, and share with us, your academic and or pursuit for education to really be able to receive all the opportunities and understanding that you have right now.
Yeah, so I'm no saint. Like, going through Compton and Watts, I was introduced to things I shouldn't have been in. Although my father was a professor and a council member, and all my siblings were college graduates, I was the young one that dabbled into being into the street life, battled into being a rapper, battled into trying to be a part of that crowd. And again, education was something that was inside of me. I just didn't know it existed. And one day it chose me, and that's when everything started to come together for me to realize that, it's okay to be who I am. Like, I started to walk in my authentic self, and I surrendered the outcome to better everyone's best around me.
That's crazy. I mean, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to come and just work for you, period. Because, this is exactly what our society show was based on, to share with people. It's our society.
Yes.
We must all understand there's only one race. That is called the human race. And the moment we realize there's only one race, and then we begin to respect and engage each other to where we have one race and we build communities, then we all win and do away with people who don't seem to have the sense of a balanced society. Because that's why we have so many wars and problems and issues. And to me, that needs to shift. But if we don't prepare a generation to take on the foot soldiers that's going to make that work, we're going to keep running into the same challenges that we have today. Absolutely. So why don't you share with the viewers? Why don't you share with us the planting of the seed for Beehive?
Yeah.
Is it called Beehive Academy?
The Beehive is this facility.
Okay.
The school I opened is called the University Pathways.
Okay. So why don't you share with viewers so they can see how all of this formulated and brought us together today? But more importantly, how did the funding, the process, the timetable, and your existence as a I'm going to say a reformer, certainly to South Central?
Yeah, so, man, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. We have had, when I quit my principalship to pursue revolutionizing the educational system, I didn't know what the future had. I just had this dream, really literally a dollar in a dream, to really pursue this. And luckily, I became an award-winning author. I had an Amazon best-selling book on how school principals could change their school. And I became an executive coach and a national speaker, speaking to thousands of educators across the country. And instead of just that money, I allocated towards this. I put it and I bootstrapped it, and I put all my own personal funds to try to make this work. And we had a couple of sponsors along the way. The one is the Solar Impact, which donated this facility for us to use for the day, free of cost, because they believed in what we were doing and what we were building. Another partnership was, of course, with the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT project that said, hey, we're going to bring food for the kids. And we just kind of piecemealed this thing together for us to really impact the kids, but for us to take this and really impact millions of kids. There's 50 million kids in public education. 15 million of those kids are living below the poverty line. There's another 10 million that's living close to a little bit above the poverty line. So you're thinking about over 40% of students are living right at, below, or between a threshold above the poverty line, which is really a big impact when it comes to improving education for many of our kids across the country.
Is all this written down somewhere? Because you
I've
just
studied this for a
you
long time.
you're
It's
just
my life's work.
you are truly amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have a PR or a team? Or
I wish I needed
Oh
to.
my God! Well, we're gonna exchange numbers
Yeah.
and get busy, because
Absolutely.
one of the things that I really enjoy about the blessing is Genesis.
Yeah.
Genesis Johnson, who is an incredible speaker,
Yes.
as you viewers will see today. His energy, his thought process, his engagement with his audience is so unbelievable for a 10-year-old that to me it's all about watching. I call him the ninth wonder of the world. And being here at this event today really adds value that someone is reinforcing this journey, because we would not be here today and I would have never met you.
Correct.
Because actually, like I said, I met Genesis in December at Art Basel in Florida.
That's nice. Yeah.
And after spending about 4 hours with him, I was hooked. I said, we have to make sure we journal your path, and whatever we can do to make sure that there's a path and media coverage and the things that are needed, we're going to grow that. But you've got to grow a community, and people must see the value of this new movement in place. And now I'm meeting you, and I can see the whole Okay, all right. So you can see how passionate. And the thing I love about this gentleman here, and we just met, so you know, I didn't know him an hour ago, but being in his space, in his is this the first time you had this event?
Yep, this is the first annual Next Generation Financial Teaching Youth Summit. We plan to scale. We plan to make a bigger impact and bring students. Listen, not only are they the future, we're in the future. Like, that is what it's about. Like, right now, we are all experiencing the future because these are the leaders of the future.
Well, you know, it's really so powerful what you're telling me, because once I met Genesis, I committed that we need to take 2023 as our starting block, because not only are we going to celebrate 50 years of hip-hop, and I'm sure you are a offspring of the hip-hop generation, we're also making this a pivotal movement, no different than the 50th March on Washington, which was in 2013. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get ready for that chapter with youth in the next 6 months, because it's actually August 11th is the date that the anniversary of the 50th point of hip hop was conceived. So I'm committing that to our media team, and what I would like for you to share before we close up, because you got me so excited. I'm like, this is crazy. This is okay. This is crazy. why don't you share with the viewers what did the hip hop era mean to you, and how vital is that for your students, and how vital is that for the future?
Listen, the hip hop meant so much to me. I thought I was gonna be an artist. My rap name was Solo. Was impacted just. Hip hop is mental health. Hip hop helps so much. It's a vibe, you know. And I eat poetry. Everything. Hip hop has impacted my life, from the sneakers I wear to my swag to how I deliver a message. Like I like to believe that I just transform my artistry as a hip hop artist, and I look at myself as a principal and as an educational leader, as the work that I do is art, right? How I liberate young people is an art. Like not anybody can do what I do, because how I do it is specific to me, and that's artistry. So hip hop has impacted the way I deliver my message in education, and that's what hip hop meant to me.
You are unbelievable.
Thank you,
I am
brother.
so blessed to meet you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
This
it.
is Alan Shea signing out with the man of the hour.
Boom.
Thank you.
There's a frame, the pink one, the black one, and the green one that you use to place it. What city? Okay, so everyone, it's LA. It's LA. Please remember LA. And now, if you haven't done so far, please download the app and create an account. And if you are creating a password, please remember that, because we cannot retrieve the password because the password is encrypted. Yeah, Web3 style, you are responsible for your own data. The first lesson, if you lose that password, you cannot access your crypto wallet, and you will lose your NFTs and assets. So please, please save, secure, store your password securely.
Give me 2 minutes real quick.
So you have your management, so you have your business structure, people that
this then?
Give me some dough.
How does it look? How does it look? What you guys think? So important. Going all of these rooms to see what they're about and stuff.
But what do they put?
I'm gonna teach you how to get your game.
Okay. Hey, that man is off the chart. Yeah, he practiced at it, man. That's what he does.
I said, man, you gonna have me in the church.
That's what he does. That's what he does all day. He over there doing it right now. That's what he does all day.